Am I overreacting because I told my niece I don't want to take her best friend with us anymore after she kept telling me I was a victim and my husband was a creep? Recently, I, 34F, took my niece and her best friend out for lunch and Christmas shopping. They were talking about boys they liked, and my niece's friend asked how I met my husband, 40M. I told her that I had basically known him my whole life. She immediately made a disgusted face and yelled, fairly loudly, "Ew. That is so gross. You don't even realize you were a victim, do you? You married your groomer." I was really bothered by this, and also by my niece's silence, but I ignored it and told them to keep shopping. People often assume that because we have a 6-year age gap, knew each other for most of our lives, and started dating when I was 20, that I must have been groomed. They never let me explain how it actually happened. After I dropped off my niece's friend, I told my niece that I didn't want to do outings with that friend anymore. She's 15, so unsurprisingly she lost her cool, refusing to admit that her friend had crossed a line by speaking to me the way she did. Am I overreacting? I didn't say anything personal about the girl, and I wasn't yelling. I simply said, "Look, I don't want to take you and friend's name out anymore. You can still bring friends, but I don't want to be around her." For anyone interested in deciding whether my niece's friend was right, my husband and I did grow up together. He's been my older brother's best friend since they were 8, so we probably met when I was 2 or 3. He lived 2 blocks over, so he was always around. My brother always included me when his friends came over, so whether they were playing board games or video games, I was usually there. As we all got older, they would let me go with them to the movies, skate parks, or most places they went. Neither of them had a problem with me being around. My husband and I didn't hang out one-on-one, though, aside from a few minutes of casual chatting if he stopped by and my brother wasn't home yet. We never had each other's phone numbers and didn't seek each other out. I had a small crush on him most of my life, but it was a simple "wow, he's really cute" kind of crush, not a "how do I get his attention?" kind. We never commented on each other's dating lives. We both admit now that some of our exes were real doozies, but we weren't close enough to interfere like that. We weren't best friends, but we did refer to each other as friends. When I went away to college, we weren't in contact unless I called my brother and they happened to be hanging out together. During winter break of my first year, my car broke down while I was driving home. It wouldn't start, and I was stranded on a poorly lit back road in the middle of nowhere. I panicked and called my brother, asking if he knew what his friend was doing that night. My future husband worked on cars and had a friend with a tow truck he could use. It turned out they were hanging out together. My future husband asked where I was and said, "No problem. I'll come get you." An hour and a half later, he showed up just as promised. He told me to get in the truck to warm up and handed me a blanket and a thermos of coffee. He loaded my car onto the truck, checked to make sure I was okay, and asked if I needed to stop anywhere before heading home. Then he asked why I hadn't called him directly. I reminded him that we'd never exchanged numbers before, and he said, "Well, let's fix that now." Over the next 2 years, we texted occasionally. At first it was just silly video game or movie memes, but eventually it turned into texting once or twice a week about work, classes, and things we were doing. We were both casually dating other people, but it was never an issue. We weren't in a relationship, and even when I was home, we still didn't spend time together alone. During my 3rd year of college, I came home again for Christmas. My now husband asked if I wanted to go to a bar where a friend of his was playing in a band. My brother was a new dad and wasn't going. I asked if it would be a problem that I was only 20. He explained that the drummer's little sister was still in high school and sometimes went to watch him play, so as long as I didn't try to order drinks, it would be fine. During that winter break, we spent a lot of time together. It felt like a lot because we weren't used to it being just the 2 of us. My brother was busy with my niece and sister-in-law, and we had free time. The 5th time we hung out during my 3.5-week break was the last time before I left. Before we went our separate ways, he asked if it would be okay if he kissed me. I was surprised, but enthusiastically said yes. The rest is history. So, in addition to asking, am I overreacting to a 14 or 15-year-old girl publicly yelling that I was groomed? I also ask, does this honestly sound like I was groomed? Final update, my niece and her friend saw my post because it blew up, even though I used a throwaway account. That sped up the timeline for addressing everything. Several people pointed out that I talk too much, so I'll keep this brief while covering the important points. Yes, the comment got into my head. It wasn't a quick remark, she kept pushing it for several minutes, which is why I redirected the conversation. I was also taken completely off guard, because it's something I never would have said to an adult when I was her age. I should have handled it better, but I was trying to keep the night lighthearted. I am not my niece's guardian. I was not trying to block their friendship, only deciding whether her friend would continue coming along on outings with me. My niece apologized. She was also shocked and didn't know what to say at the time. My niece's friend sent a message for her to forward to me, apologizing as well. As some people mentioned, she had trouble imagining someone my husband's age. She thought he was at least 10 years older than me, knowing her at her age and later being attracted to her. Everything is fine now. I told my niece that her friend can still come along when I take her out, but that she needs to be respectful and not jump to conclusions. And yes, my husband did ask my brother if it was okay to make a move on me, though neither of them remembers exactly when that conversation happened. I'm abandoning this throwaway now, since everyone knows about it anyway.